When I first received Jodi's pap smear results, which showed no abnormal cells but was positive for high-risk HPV, I was frankly somewhat surprised. I didn't think that she would herself be a patient at risk for the infection. I've subsequently realized that we are all really at risk of this infection. Because her result was abnormal, I called her with those results and told her that based on the new guidelines, she should return to the office for another pap smear as well as HPV testing in 6 to 12 months.
Dr. Bowers called me and said that I did have the HPV virus, but that over the next couple months it usually goes back dormant and it's not anything to worry about.
HPV infection can be transient. In most women in whom we pick it up over the age of 30, it typically will clear in 6 to 12 months. It's the women that harbor HPV for more than 12 months that we're particularly concerned about in regards to the risk of cervical cancer or precancerous conditions of the cervix.
I felt very calm about that because I figured, okay, it'll go away.
I myself hadn't heard anything about the HPV virus.
My husband was kind of a little, can I say a typical male?
And I was kind of shocked initially because I was like, didn't know she was sick or anything. It was just a routine exam.
So I gave him the pamphlet and I explained to him what it was and what I had to do from there.
She very dutifully returned within 6 months, had the repeat PAP and the repeat HPV, and again the HPV was positive, showing persistent infection, and now the pap smear showed abnormal cells.
I did get very nervous at that point when she called the second time to tell me that it was positive again and that it's very, very rare that it does come back positive again and that I needed to move forward in solving this.
What's routine when we had a finding like that on a pap smear or now when we have persistent HPV infection is to have the patient come back to the office for a colposcopic evaluation of the cervix, which is an examination of the cervix done in the office under magnification. We look for abnormal areas on the cervix that might represent precancerous areas and biopsy them. When we did that on Jodi, she was shown to have a significant dysplasia or precancerous condition of her cervix.
Dr. Bowers and I sat down and we discussed where we needed to go from there, and she suggested that since the virus was not going away and it was still in my system, that maybe I needed to meet with the surgeon.
She was subsequently treated with a LEAP excision of the cervix, which also showed the high-grade dysplasia. Following the LEAP excision, it's hoped that the HPV would be fully excised and that the immune system again would be activated to remove the HPV from her system. You can't be certain that that's the case, so repeat testing is still worthwhile. Certainly you don't want to miss any remaining infected cells on the cervix.
My whole family chipped in to help each other and make sure, the life was kind of normal while I was recovering. Within a couple days, I was back on my feet, and within a couple weeks, I was back to my normal routine.